Hello everyone and welcome to Spot. In this episode we're gonna have a quick look over what in my opinion is the most universal starter runeword weapon, and of course that's gonna be strength. In order to make strength you have to have two runes which are quite easy to obtain, and these are as follows. So the first rune you need is gonna be Am, and the second one is gonna be Tyr. So both of these runes can be found on normal difficulty as early as Act 1 contest. So you can get runes like that, I'd say about level 8 to 10, and if you want to continue doing contest runs, you shouldn't be taking that long to get just these two runes. And now let's show you the base which I've prepared here. This is a really good example as a base. That's a rune scepter with 3 to Holy Shock, as well as 2 open sockets, and it requires level 24 right now with strength requirement of 58. The damage it does is relatively low, 13 to 24, but we're gonna go ahead and make the rune work anyway. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And Tyr rune. And here we got our strength runeword. It doesn't have any varying stats, they're all static, so what you get is pretty much 35% of enhanced damage, 7% life stolen per hit, 25% of crushing blow, as well as 20 to strength, which is really a massive option, and 10 to vitality, 2 to mana after each kill. Now, why this runeword is so universal, you might ask? The first reason is you can create this runeword in basically every single type of weapon which got 2 open sockets. And this can be really beneficial, especially early on. As you can see, the runeword required level 25, the level requirement before was 24, so we only increased that by 1. In terms of physical damage, it doesn't really offer as much, there are better alternatives, but it also provides you with 25% chance of crushing blow, which as early as level 25, it can be detrimental for a lot of character builds. It can be a massive power spike for, let's say, a Smiter, for example, or Kixin Assassin. Even a Frenzy Barb or a Fury Druid can benefit a lot of weapon like this. This particular example is gonna work extremely well on a Holy Shock Paladin, which is the so-called Tesladin build. And this ultimately is gonna be the best weapon for around level 25 up to probably 40, I'd say. You don't really have to have a lot of physical damage for the Tesladin to work. The main thing you need is the Holy Shock Aura, and this Skipper providing you 3 to Holy Shock is going to be a really decent booster as a weapon for a Zealer, for example, a Tesladin build. Now, the other interesting thing which you can make is to use those sorceress specific weapons, and I'm not talking about the staffs. You can make this runeword in a sorceress orb, and this is really interesting. Take a note of the options which it gives you again. So we've got 22 strength, as well as 10 to vitality, and 2 to mana after each kill. So for example, you can have an orb as a base with 2 open sockets, which can give you 3 skills on some useful spell, or something in those values, let's say 3 to Ice Blast and 1 to Warmth, for example, this can spawn. And if you make this runeword in it, and if you put it on your sorceress class, you benefit dramatically from the strength. So you can put better quality of armors and equipments much easier that way without investing strength points. And also you're gonna amplify the vitality which you get, and 2 to mana after each kill is really helpful for a caster early on. You can also make this Runeword in a wand, similar to the orb for a necromancer, but I'd say there are better alternatives instead of doing that. Now, this Runeword is so good as a starter weapon simply because it's extremely easy to be made. Both the runes are super easy to be acquired, as well as the bases, which we'll look into. For example, you can even use assassin katars, and I really like wearing a pair of strength katars on my kick assassin early on. So whenever you're level 25 and you do 2 of these into katars, you can essentially benefit from the skills which naturally come on your assassin katars, as well as boosting up your strength by 40, which is a really massive amount, and your vitality by 20, as well as 40 mana after each kill. So wearing 2 of these can work really well on fixing early on. You can also use the dual block wearing 2 of these. So in terms of possibilities, this Runeword really opens up quite widely. It can be used by, I'd say, all of the characters, and it's really helpful to be made early on. So not a lot of people like to do it, and mostly the casters are gonna create leaf staff, for example, and other alternatives. But depending on the current situation and the bases which you've got and the runs as well, it can really benefit you for a little while. I'm not saying this is an endgame Runeword, it's definitely not. But in terms of a leveling weapon, it can definitely be very useful, especially early in the ladder or whenever you just start and create your first character. So I think that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you've learned something new and I hope it's been helpful for you. You know what to do if it was, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you later. Bye!